Good afternoon, everyone. This is your pilot speaking. We are currently third in line for takeoff and are expected to be in the air in approximately 7 minutes' time. We ask that you please fasten your seatbelts and secure all baggage underneath your seat or in the overhead compartments. We also ask that your seats and table trays are in the upright position for takeoff. Please turn off all personal devices, including laptops and cell phones. Smoking is prohibited for the duration of the flight. Thank you, Captain. Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who will decide where to go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for visiting Tampa Airlines. We are happy to have you all here. If this is your first time flying, we hope that this experience doesn't make it your last. There are so many places in the world to visit with so many experiences, yummy food, and historic places to explore. This flight is not a regular flight. We will tour multiple countries over the next few days in order to acclimate our first time flyers to flying. We would love to share the benefits of traveling to these places and what they have to offer to you. First, we will be visiting Australia, followed by a first class flight to Portugal, France, Italy, and Japan. Fasten your seatbelts, everyone. This will be a long ride. Thank you again for choosing Tampa Airlines. Good day, mate, and welcome to Australia. Australia is one of the most popular travel destinations in the world, and we are the sixth largest country and continent combined. It's known as a major backpacking, camping, and driving destination, but no matter what your travel style is, there is something to draw you here. One thing to note is that we are in the southern hemisphere, so it's great that you all visited during this season because our winter happens when the northern hemisphere summer begins. But I like to add that all seasons here offer great opportunities to do multiple activities. If you are an outdoorsy person, you love the outback. And when I refer to the outback, that just means the remote and uninhabited areas of our country, such as Tasmania. The water is crystal clear and the forest is dense with plenty of trees and vegetation. Tourists love to stay for weeks on end to camp, hike, and inspect the wildlife here. Now I know you all travel from Florida, so nothing beats the beaches here, right? Wrong. Our beaches are spectacular here. Not to toot my own horn here, but in comparison to Australia, Florida has 189 beaches. Guess how many we have? Here we have no less than 11,001. If you decide to visit any during your stay, consider Himes Beach, known for having the whitest sand in the world. Here you will see many locals offering surfing lessons or hanging tent in the water themselves. Also, there are many boats in Shelly Beach and Sydney Whitehaven Beach that will take you to snorkel or fish in the Great Barrier Reef, which is the largest coral reef system. Just so you have an idea, or I could put it in perspective, it is bigger than the United Kingdom and the Netherlands and Switzerland combined. Also, don't be scared to talk to any of our locals. Aussies are said to have a laid back culture. Everyone calls each other mate and they never miss a holiday. Aussies have a festival for everything, whether it's food, art, film, or anything. Easily one of the biggest festivals in Australia, Splendor in the Grass, is at a stunning location and always brings a top notch lineup as far as music, covering a wide variety of genres. So please feel free to rock out with our locals during this time. Now, let's talk about the food here. Here in Australia, we love our meat pies, which includes kangaroo, koala, and even crocodile, and enjoy a good old Vegemite sandwich for breakfast. Hopefully, maybe with avocado. Also, with no kangaroos in Florida, I'm sure you all have never tried its meat. Please, please, please consider it if it's the last thing you do here. I'd also like to add that emu meat is very popular around these parts, so consider trying this protein as well. Lastly, if you would like to learn a little history about us, try visiting Uluru. This is the most famous and sacred place in all of Austria. Before colonization began here, indigenous people have developed across Australia for over 50,000 years and are the original settlers. As a result, to preserve their culture on this land, we have conserved Aboriginal culture. One of the ways we do this is by allowing them to celebrate around Uluru or Ayers Rock by having indigenous ceremonies. If you're lucky, you may be able to experience such beauty in the Northern Territory. Thank you for visiting, and I hope you all have a phenomenal time here. Hope your next destination offers many incentives as well. Thanks.
Japan is an incredible destination with a million things to eat, see, and do. Today, I will be showing you all around Japan, a country that needs to be number one on your travel bucket list. First, I will be talking about Japan's vast technological advances. Second, I will talk about Japan's cultural landscapes and temples. Third will be all about Japan's amazing food options. And lastly, where you will be staying today. Let's first start with one of Japan's most famous catches, technology. Since the 1960s, Japan has been wildly famous for its technological side. The country's international reputation for electronics, the automotive industry, and robotics has grown exponentially. Japan has some of the biggest electronic creations in the world, and some of the most cutting-edge innovations. Japan has also won more Nobel Prizes in science than any other Asian country. So, if you love technology, this is the place to be in Japan. One of Tokyo's most famous districts is Akihabara. Akihabara has a reputation for gadgets and sensory overload, with thousands of hyper-colored screens meeting you in every corner that your eyes can see. Here you can also visit Yodobashi, which is a mega store to buy pretty much any gadget you desire. Options can range from phones to cameras to computer to any of the related accessories. And another technology-filled adventure in Tokyo is the robot restaurants, which are basically super energetic interactive robot shows, but they all happen while you eat. Secondly, we are going to talk about Japan's cultural landscapes and temples. In Nara, the ancient capital of Japan, the Muro area is dotted with temples, shrines, and sacred sites that have been endured for thousands of years. Here you can observe the spiritual foundations and the diverse history of Japan's unique religious culture. There are currently 25 World Heritage Sites in Japan, 20 cultural ones and 5 natural ones. One of these famous temples is the Moroji Temple, located in the mountains of Sakurai City. Stone steps connect the building of the mountainside temple leading through a forest. Many of the temple's buildings date back to hundreds of years, and the wood buildings create harmony while being surrounded by nature. The mountain-filled area where the temple is located has been considered a holy place since ancient times. Being within the mountains, the temple is very isolated and relaxing. The temple consists of about a dozen buildings that are spread out. The main cluster of buildings are located shortly after the Neomon Gate at the temple's entrance. The Kondo Hall was built in the 9th century and houses a number of wooden Buddhist statues built during the same time period. Nearby are the Mirakudo Hall and the Kanjodo Hall, which were both built around the 1300s. And they also store Buddhist objects of worship. Behind the cluster of buildings is a flight of stone steps leading up to a 5-story pagoda that was constructed in the late 8th century. The pagoda is the oldest structure at the Moroji. Now let's get to the most important part, Japan's food. Tokyo is one of the most exciting food destinations in the world. The city features a wide range of both local and regional Japanese cuisine, in addition to all the types of international cuisines too. Good food can be found at every price range, from cheap hole-in-the-wall joints to expensive high-class restaurants with every budget in between. Some of Tokyo's foods include sushi, tempura, soba, Tokyo sweets, and much, much more. There are lots and lots of casual dining restaurants all around Tokyo. While restaurants are easy to find anywhere in the city, good places to go to are around train stations, entertainment districts, and restaurant floors of department stores. Themed cafes such as maid and butler cafes, as well as pet cafes, are popular attractions where you can converse or play games with maids or butlers or spend time with animals. such as cats, rabbits, birds, or where you can eat light meals and can enjoy coffee or tea. All of these types of cafes usually charge small cover charge in addition to food and drinks. And another type of food dinings are theme parks, which typically feature different variations of specific foods, such as ramen or gyoza. Now let's talk about where you will be staying. Tokyo offers the widest range of accommodation choices of any Japanese city, including many international and domestic hotel chains, hostels, dormitories, capsule hotels, and ryokan. Shinjuku is one of the very popular districts among tourists to stay in due to its convenient location and abundance of shopping, entertainment, and sightseeing. Many excellent 4 and 5-star hotels are located on the station's west side, while many cheaper options are concentrated on the east side and around the red light district. Asakusa is the recommended district to stay in for low-budget travelers, with its vast variety of inexpensive hostels, dormitories, and budget ryokans. They also include small hotels. Now, with all that we have visited today, we hope you had a great time traveling around Japan, and we hope to see you again soon.
Hello everybody, today I'm going to be talking to you about Italy and France. Italy and France are beautiful places to visit which have beautiful architecture, delicious food, and amazing things to do. Hopefully everything I talk about will help you make the trip more amazing, easier, more fun, and just an all-around more amazing experience for you if you learn things that you hadn't known before you got on here. In France, one of the most popular things to do is go see the Eiffel Tower, and this is one of the biggest attractions in Paris because of how old it is and how beautiful it is. The tower was completed March 31st, 1989. The Eiffel Tower is approximately 1,083 feet tall, which sounds huge, and it truly is. The tower is around the same height as an 81-story building and is the tallest landmark in Paris. It'll cost you roughly $10 to $20 to go see the top, and if you're afraid of heights, I would not recommend doing this activity because it seems really tall. At night, the Eiffel Tower gets lit up, and it becomes beautiful to walk by, drive by. You don't even have to go to the top to witness how pretty it truly is at night when it's lit up, even though it's pretty whenever you go see it. You can also see the beautiful Arc de Triomphe, which is located in Champs-Élysées. You can walk up to it, you can drive by it, but if you walk up to it, you can read all what's inscribed into the arc, and you can see all the beautiful pictures that are around it. You can also see the catacombs, which are in Paris, and not many people know that it's there, but it is truly beautiful when you walk inside of it. It'll cost you around $29 to get a tour of it, but it is very worth it because you have somebody with you at all times while you go through it. You have a headpiece in your ear so that there's someone talking to you constantly, so you don't have to stop and read all the time and take more time. The only bad thing about it is it's a very long walk down because it is underground, which makes the way up much harder, but I believe that it's truly worth seeing. The foods in France that you must try are obviously croissants, baguettes, eclairs, macaroons, escargot, which is snails, duck, and one of the most popular French onion soup. Now we're going to move to Italy, which is huge. The capital of Italy is Rome, which is a beautiful city, and this is where you'll find the Colosseum. The Colosseum is where gladiator events were hosted back in 80 AD, and that's where people went for entertainment. They waited for these events to happen, and if you go visit it, you're allowed to walk in. You can see everything. You could see the floor where it would happen. You could see where people would sit, different balconies in there for different ranked people. So it is a beautiful place to see from even the outside because of how old and monumental it is. Not only can you see that in Rome, but you can also see the Trevi Fountain. You can get very close to it, walk up to it, you can see it. There's beautiful architecture and sculptures all around it, which makes it worth the visit. The Vatican City is also in Rome, and this is where you'll find all the Roman Catholic churches. one of the most famous ones being the Sistine Chapel, which was painted by Michelangelo. You can walk directly through it. You have to go through the entire chapel, which is roughly a couple hours long. But once you hit that one, it's amazing. The only thing you can't do is you cannot take pictures because it will disturb what's happening. But when you look up and you see all of these different paintings that he painted, you'll be mesmerized and wonder how he ever could have done it. The next on your list that you can go see is Florence, which is home of the Duomo, and the legendary statue of David, which was also designed by Michelangelo. It's very popular over there. To see the David, it'll cost you roughly $20 if you want to see the original, because you need to get inside the museum. But it is one of the most beautiful sculptures you'll see, and it's very much worth it. Now, if you wanted to go see the Duomo, it is free. You don't have to pay to get in, but the line is always hours long. You will be wrapped around the building for hours, which might take away from what else you want to do for the day. And you can't skip the line, you have to wait. And now, one thing is, if you're a huge Romeo and Juliet fan, you can travel to Verona to see the famous balcony that was Juliet's. And you just get a perfect view. You go exactly to where it is. When right next to it, there's also the statue of Juliet, which you can go up to and take a picture with. It's even good luck if you put your hand on Juliet. So that's also a very cool thing that you can do, and you don't have to pay for it. You can just walk right up to it and do it. You can also visit the fashion city of the world, Milan. And in all of these cities, you could take a big red bus, which will take you around and explain all the statues and architecture. It'll even stop at places they know people will want to see, which is a very good idea that they have. The best foods in Italy and must-eats are, of course, pasta, pizza, lasagna, carbonara, and much more. The best desserts, in my opinion, are gelato, tiramisu, cannolis, and those ones are the best, but that's just my opinion. I truly hope that all of this helped you decide on more things you want to do once we touch down, and even if you don't want to do these things, maybe learn more about different cities and landmarks here. I only went into a little detail about everything, so once we land, I think you'll be truly mesmerized about what everything looks like and the beauty of everything, because words can't put it into the picture. I truly hope you enjoy your trip and you want to come again.
How you doing, guys? My name is Will. We're going to be talking about your trip to Trinidad and Tobago. It's going to be the if you know destination in the Caribbean. It's a true melting pot of cultures and diaspora. And by the end of the trip, you'll wish you had some more room in your stomach for food. You will arrive and notice an abundance of amazing food and even greater hospitality. Trinidad and Tobago can be analyzed by some notable categories such as physical geography, cuisine, and even population. You'd be surprised the amount of different people that be migrating to this island. Trinidad and Tobago straddles the southern zone of the Caribbean, and it's sandwiched between the main island chains of the Caribbean and South America, specifically Venezuela, located directly on top of the corresponding tectonic plates, right in the middle, right, dead on, spot on, until those two plates. Turning Trinidad and Tobago to be highly thermoactive, causing a strange natural phenomenon such as mud volcanoes being scattered across the island. Trinidad and Tobago can be divided into two economic sectors, the tourist side of it and the energy producing side. Being rich in natural resources, you can find an abundance of petroleum and asphalt. You see offland oiling operations as well as the world's largest asphalt lake, natural asphalt lake. Keep in mind, by combining both of these resources, you will get the fifth largest economy in all the Americas, right alongside Mexico, the U.S., Brazil. This rise in the economy is causing a major tourist boom, having an airport expansion in the works, as you're bound to have an enjoyable experience from the start. If eco-based tourism is more of your main focus, Trinidad and Tobago has an abundance of options ranging from crystal clear water seasoned with beautiful coral reefs and amazing natural forests hike if that's more of what you're looking for. You could go snorkeling in the water. You could do all that. The food in Trinidad and Tobago, though, can be categorized by some of the settlers there. Some people that migrated to the island, they arrived decades and even centuries earlier, from rotis and curries from the Indo-based settlers to stewed meats from the African settlers. A must-try, though, would be a bacon shark on the beach with your typical local sandwich. Just typical local sandwich, pretty much. It's going to be, instead of your ham and cheese, it's going to be shark. They're extremely spicy, friendly. The island itself is just extremely spicy as it is. The food goes right alongside it. Being home of one of the hottest peppers in the whole world, the Moruga scorpion pepper. One of the highlights of the whole island will be the carnival. It starts a couple days prior to Ash Wednesday. It's days upon days of pure unadulterated fun with months and months of preparation going into these events. Costume that takes hundreds of hours to bead by hand. Dresses, everything, you name it. We can't forget the ever amazing music such as calypso or soca, both having African roots, or even parang being popularized in the island, having Latin origins, coming from the Venezuelan migrants arriving in the island. They'll have you and everyone around you dancing. It's a time you won't want to miss. Some notable places you may want to check out are the Museum of Art, Portside in Port of Spain, the capital, and Arapida Avenue being the heart of the nightlife in Port of Spain, as well as a handful of water parks scattered throughout the island. I hope that you folks enjoy your trip to TNT. Remember to always stay safe while you're having fun. Take care.